Today we're going to show you one of our cute little cat projects. We like to make these little ornaments, or they could be little tag charms when you do presents. You can add them to gift bags, or just, students like to have them, or children like to have them for like their backpacks. So we're going to make a bunch of these today. So first what you're going to need is you're going to need some scrap fabric. So I have a variety of scraps here. I have one for the face, so like a neutral color. We have our pattern, which I'm simply going to just take interfacing. So this is fusible interfacing, but you can use regular interfacing for this. And I'm going to simply trace our cat pattern. Just using a simple Sharpie. We're going to use the paper piecing method. So if you have to make it easier for you, I've done these so many times so I know the order. But this one is going to be our first piece that we place on there. This is our second piece. This is our third, and this is our fourth. So now that we have our pattern in place, I'm going to make sure that I have scrap fabric that will kind of match the sizes of the spaces that I'm going to use. And cut to size, or roughly to size. So now that I have my pieces all ready to go, I'm going to bring them over to my machine and I'm going to put them together. So as you can see, I'm going to take my little pattern and I'm going to take my first piece, which I had cut to be this nice little flower piece, and I'm going to kind of match it up so the print is actually the right sides on the back. And I'm just going to make sure that I'm above my line that I'm going to be sewing. And I'm going to match it up with my second piece. So I can kind of see from the back from the Sharpie whereabouts to position it. I kind of use my fingers to kind of help me kind of gauge how much. So I'm using my thumbs here to kind of gauge how much of the line I should be covering. And I'm matching my thumbs with my index fingers, and I have enough. So I'm going to just run it through on the line. And I finger press, but you could take it over to an iron to press out. I usually do a final press with the iron afterwards. So now that I have my seam, I fold down, kind of finger press it out. I'm gonna lay my next piece down, oops, right sides together. Kind of use my thumbs for the points. I gotta move this one, I can tell. That looks pretty good. So this is just called paper piecing or foundation piecing. It's a typical, anyways, paper piecing is a typical method that we like to use, especially if you're doing small intricate details on an object. So I'm gonna finger press that. Now we're ready to put our face on. So there's no right or wrong side to this one. I'm gonna match it up. Just check using my thumbs and my index fingers. Okay, that's good enough. Stitch it in place. Now again, usually on the last one, I will take my final product and take it to the iron and press it out. Make sure everything is nice and smooth and neat. So I have one already kind of set up here that I did earlier. So you can see that I have it pressed out. On the back is the outline. And I'm going to take a backing fabric. So I'm going to take a simple backing fabric. I'm going to just line it up. And I'm going to hold them together. With my scissors, I'm actually going to trim all the way around the shape. So just kind of hold it together and trim my cat shape. Make sure I'm cutting both layers. I'm going to save those scraps for another project. We like to use them for our scrap sheets. Now I'm going to take my backing fabric and just kind of move it to the back so I can hide my pattern. And because I'm going to make it so it's a little ornament or a gift tag, I'm going to take some ribbon. So I can stick my ribbon on the top for my holder, or my hanger, I mean. So just going to sandwich my little ribbon in between my ears. I'm going to change my machine to a zigzag stitch so I can seal off both the top and the bottom fabrics. And there we go. So I have mine stitched around the edges. Sometimes I trim off any extra fabric that doesn't quite get caught or any kind of rough fabric. And you got your little cat ornament. So I also put a little face on it. So I use just a simple Sharpie marker. I'm going to put 2 eyes, make my whiskers, and that's it. There we go. Very simple, cute little project. I'll have the patterns hopefully available as a part of a collection. This is going to be a probably a 4 or 5 part series on different little cat projects. Coming up next will be a applique project using wool. You can also use fabric for it, but I'm going to show you how to applique wool and make cute little cat pictures. So hopefully you enjoyed this tutorial and you might make a bunch of feline friends for yourself.